and welcome back to the Plies and Hellhounds channel. We are a puppy interrupted crafty channel coming to you from Central Connecticut. I'm your human host Gabby. You can find me everywhere online as Gabagales and all my hand-dyed yarn at Plies and Hellhounds and pliesandhellhounds.com. If you can hear this heavy breathing, it's Audrey because she thinks I had snacks around the craft nook. I have not done. This week's episode is going to be the January recap, so everything that I've read and knit or crafty worked on in January. So let's just get straight into it. I will be leaving links to everything in the show notes, and yeah, the end. That's it. If you haven't watched the, sorry, I just moved my foot and scared Iron. Putting together my reading/knitting journal video. I will leave a link up there for it, but I have my January spread and I have recorded all the books and knitting projects along with yarn and whatnot. So I keep track of them. So we're just gonna go in order because I've read more than I've knit things, and I also don't have either of the knit projects. One is in the wash and the other one has been gifted to its recipient, and I don't have it in my possession, but I do have pictures of the gift. The first book that I read was The Baker's Guide to Risky Rituals by Kathryn Moon. Witchy/demon romance novel. Takes place in Sweet Pea, Virginia, where this coven of witches resides, and it's supposed to be like the happiest or like the most good town in America. So a band of demons straight from hell roll into town as a motorcycle gang to cause mischief. There is a murder, so the witches end up getting blamed for the murder, and it's them trying to figure out how to be in the town with these demons and like what's going on. So the main character in this one is Josie, and Bud, you're so cute. She owns a patisserie in town, and she's also a witch from New Orleans, so she does a little bit more of the voodoo style of magic. I thought this was super cute. It was the tamest Kathryn Moon book I have ever read in my life, but it was really good. Super good. I think it's going to be a series of 4. Only 2 books are out, though. I'm not rating the books, I'm just going straight off vibes. The next book I read is The Knitter's Guide to Banishing Boyfriends, and it's the second book in the series, and it deals with June, who owns the yarn store in town, and her demon partner. This one is spicier. This one actually has some spice in it. There's another murder, and it goes into kind of like a revenge plot against the cult coven that she was in as a child with her sister Imogen. And then all of that ensues. So we have Imogen and I think Rosie left. And I think I figured out who they're both getting paired up with, but those books aren't out yet. So those are the first 2 books that I read. They're both by Kathryn Moon. I got them both on Kindle Unlimited and read them on my Kindle/iPad. So they out there. The dogs have started play fighting now. So if you hear piranha teeth, that's Audrey. Within Obsession and Lies by Stacy Jones is the next book I read, also Kindle Unlimited. I was told on TikTok that it's like a spicy reverse harem ACOTAR. It's not. I agree, Audrey. It is a reverse harem. It is... Iron just laid on all of the yarn I have next to me. It is spicy, but it wasn't... This woman has this power that attracts people to her to a dangerous level, and she has one night where like she releases all the power in like a giant like flash, like she just got too overwhelmed or something. Just she lost control of the power, and it attracted her to these 3 mysterious men who look like they're in the mafia, but they're actually fae. So it's fae, kind of shapeshifty, like they're fae in the sense of they're not just like hot men, they also like have not human characteristics, like there's bat wings, obviously. That's just, I think that's just a fae thing now forever. But like one of them's got scales, the other one's got like glowing yellow skin. Like they have glamour, so they look like normal men. And like there's like a different kind of fae that are they either live in this world or they've been banished to this world, and they're trying to, like, the dudes are trying to figure out why she's here, and she's trying to figure out if they're gonna, like, if they're actually trustworthy or they're just gonna kill her. So it made me feel like the author didn't think we could handle the magic system. It felt very like walking you through the magic every single time they brought it up, and like they italicized a lot of things that I didn't think need to be italicized, like siren. I would assume if I were writing the book, I would assume they would know what a siren is. If it was like a lesser known fae, that they did have a couple of those, and they described like what they did, what their lore was, that kind of thing, that I got. But like sirens, mermaids, like gnomes, that kind of thing, I feel like they could have trusted the reader a little bit more. I don't think I'm gonna read the second book. It was okay, but I don't think it's something that I'm gonna continue on. Yeah, it felt like it felt a little Den of Vipers to me. This one on Kindle Unlimited and on my Kindle, so there we go. While I was reading these, I actually picked up a pair of socks, and they are just a pair of Shorty ankle socks that I cast on in, I don't know, 2017, 2018. I don't, a long time ago, definitely pre-pandemic, 100%, it might have even been like pre-engagement. It's been a hot minute. So I knit these out of Biscott yarns in their Outlander self-striping colorway. I used US size 1 DPNs, wooden ones, and I did a 64 stitch count. I didn't really use a pattern. It was, I think, 10 rows of ribbing, 5 rows of stockinette, and then I did a fish lips cause heel, my regular foot, and then a wedge toe. Easy peasy. I've worn them a bunch, so they're currently in the wash. Not very exciting to show, but I'm hopeful I am putting like at least the journal page in here. That way I'm showing you something instead of just talking about socks. Up next for books is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I read this for my book club. It was our January read, and I got this off of Libby through my public library, and I read it on the Kindle. It was good. I understand why it's like a New York Times bestseller and why a bunch of people recommended it and were like raving about it when it came out. I think it came out in 2020. So like it came out kind of at the perfect time. It's about a woman who tries to kill herself, and then in like not the purgatory, but like the in-between space is a library where each book is a different life that she could have led, and like the first book she has to read is the Book of Regrets. So it's every regret she's ever had in her entire life. And as this story... Can you go play in the lawn? No, I'm recording. As the story continues, she goes through all these different lives and like the possibilities that could have been, and it sort of like weeds out all of her regrets. I really did enjoy this book. It felt a little preachy at times, but after having the book club discussion, I think that it feels less preachy and more like trying to bring awareness to things like depression, and sometimes you need to be on antidepressants, and that's okay. I think editing could have helped a little bit because there was a long list of lives that she did, and it felt very redundant to sit there for an entire page and list, and she did that, and then that, and then that, and she did this, but she didn't do this, but then she did do this. Like, kind of that sort of thing. I don't know if I would reread it again, but I would definitely recommend it to people. My hair is going crazy. So I understand the hype. I definitely do. While I was reading that, I was working on a hat. So I did knit the Soft and Cushy hat by Purl Soho, and I was holding 4 yarns double, 2 of which were knit picks, like their basic sock yarn. I think it's like an 80-20 merino nylon blend. And then I also held some Earl Grey Dark and Mysterious on her, what's it called? Gunpowder sock, some Lavender Loon slub yarn in, I don't know the colorway name, and I can't find my notes anywhere where it says it, but the blue one that I used for my Aldegrove pullover in 2020. And I did this for our friend roommate Angel because he has no winter gear and he's living in a house with knitters. And the week that I was reading The Midnight Library, it got down to like the single digits, almost below 0. So I wanted something super quick and super fun and stash busting for being a hat, and also something super warm for him. So I knit that. It took me like 2 days to do. It was super easy. It was super fun. and he loves it. He wears it all the time. He is so excited about it. So he's been a very good knit-worthy person. I don't have it with me. It is on his person, but I do have a picture of it. It's a terrible photo, but I'm hoping I am editing it into here. That way you can see it. After Midnight Library, I read Manacled, the fan fiction by SenLin Yu on Archive of Our Own. It is if Harry Potter died during the Wizarding War and Voldemort turned it into a Handmaid's Tale situation, Draco Hermione fanfic. It is dark, it is well done. It is 80 chapters long and 340,000 words, and I read it in not as long as it should have taken me. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it is there. I read it. It destroyed me, heart and soul. They just did such a good job with it. So that's what I went. Back onto the Kindle Unlimited train, I then read Hooked by Emily McIntire. This is her Never After series, so it is fairy tale villains that get the girl. Hooked is the story of Captain Hook. He is a Boston mobster criminal dude whose arch nemesis is Peter of Never Air Airlines. He is seeking revenge on Peter for some awful things that happened to him in his past because Peter crashed the plane that his parents were on and killed them. So if Peter never did that, then all the terrible things that happened to Hook probably never would have happened. So his goal is to destroy Peter Pan, basically, and he is going to do that by seducing Peter's daughter, Wendy. It is delightful. It is a light kidnapping. It is very much a misunderstanding of a father-daughter relationship because he thinks that Wendy is very close to Peter because she's referred to as his little shadow in the press, when in reality Wendy is struggling to get Peter to pay attention to her as a family and as a daughter, and to pay attention to her brother John. So it is delightful. It was very good. It took me 2 days to read. 10 out of 10. It's spicy. It's spicy. And they've got Shmi and the I don't want to say the main villain because Hook's technically a villain, but the main villain is goes by the name Croc, as in crocodile, and Hook cannot stand the sound of ticking clocks because of the abuse that he suffered as a child. So it is just chef's kiss, so good. I will be reading that entire series. I immediately went into the next one, which is Scarred, and it is a retelling of The Lion King, but they're humans, and they're in their own fantasy, kind of England style world. So there's King Michael and his brother Prince Tristan, Mufasa, and Tristan is known as the Scarred Prince because he suffered a terrible accident attack as a youngin and has a giant scar going across the side of his face. The main character is Sarah, who is betrothed to King Michael, and she worked her way up from being the daughter of a duke to the betrothed of the king because she's going to kill the king and his entire family. So it's secret plot to murder. Everybody's mad at each other, everyone's backstabbing each other, and while she's in the palace trying to figure out the best way to kill Michael, she keeps running into the Scarred Prince, and then it kind of turns into a forbidden hate love. It's definitely enemies to lovers. It's so good, and it's so there's so many moving pieces and they all fit so well together, and the way she ended the book was chef's kiss, so good. I did not expect the ending at all. It definitely could have been a possibility, but it did not cross my mind that that's what would happen. So I would 100% recommend that. It is, again, a dark romance. It is spicy. It good. It good. It violent, but it good. Yes. The last, is it the last book? Oh my god, it is. The last book I read in January is The Zodiac Academy. Hold on, I didn't write down the authors. There's 2 authors. Siren going by a dog, we're gonna start screaming now. Susanne Valenti and Caroline Peckham. The first book is called The Awakening, and it is the story of Darcy and Tori, a set of twins who are Gemini, finding out that they're actually long lost secret fae princesses slash queens. So in order to get their inheritance, they have to go to what's called the Zodiac Academy, late high school, like a college for magic. Everyone's like 18 plus, so it's adults. Like, they're adults, but I feel like a lot of these people should have learned. I don't know the public school system in this Fae realm. So they have a Fae realm that like crosses over into the human world. Like, everyone speaks English. Some people speak Spanish. They do have like motorcycles and cars that are from the human realm, but like the manufacturers change the name to like Harley Dragonson, like that kind of thing. And they have to go to the school and graduate in order to get their inheritance, so they decide to give it a try. They have to get sorted into 4 different houses. The magic is very elemental. There's earth, fire, water, and air. A lot of their magic is also based on their zodiac and their other star signs, and the Fae in this world have different orders, so they're all shapeshifters, sort of. Like, you can be a vampire and then like your shapeshifting is just bangs. There's sirens, there's werewolves, there's griffins, Pegasus, dragons, and like each order also has a different way that they need to replenish their magic. Like, vampires replenish their magic by sucking blood out of another Fae. The werewolves replenish their magic under the full moon. The Pegasus by flying into rainbow, like kind of stuff like that. So the girls don't know what their order is, and they're just trying to figure out like A, Fae rules, B, magic, and C, they have to deal with, they're called the 4 heirs. So they are the sons of the 4 families who have taken over since the Savage King, Darcy and Tori's father, was murder-lated, and it is a big bully. It is I didn't read that it was a bully romance, but it is a big bully. So if bullying is not your thing, I would not recommend this book. It got to a point where I thought I wasn't going to be able to finish the book, but I realized that at 98% through the book. So I did continue and read the second book, which I read 2 days ago. I'm intrigued. I really like the magic system. I really like this world, and I'm really liking how they're doing all this like political turmoil and like tension. Sorry, I just burped right into my microphone. Tori and Darcy, I could leave them or take them. Like, Tori seems a little pick-me-girlish. Darcy, I feel like the authors are splitting it up between chapters. Like, one's writing Tori, one's writing Darcy. And the more I read it, the more I think that's how they're splitting this up. So I'm gonna continue the series. I'm already in it. I'm here for the long haul. I think it's the magic system, the school system, and like the world that's taking me in. Yeah, the first book is like young adult spicy. It's just like less spicy than ACOTAR, but more spicy than like the Turtle series. In between that, if you've read both of those things and know what I'm talking about. And that's what I have worked on for the month of January. It was not the month that I was thinking it was going to be, but I'm happy with what I've gotten done. I'm happy with what I've read. I managed to fill in one reading embrace section with a light kidnapping, because there is a slight kidnapping going on with Hooked. And I have not picked up a physical book in the month of January. Everything was on my Kindle / iPad because my 10-year-old Kindle finally kicked the bucket. So we're trying to manufacture reset it so we can send it out to get like recycled or something, because RIP, she led a good long life with lots of reading and trains and moving and so many Ice Planet Barbarians. So many. Yeah, I am loving this. This has been so good to just like sit down and really think about the books. And I'm putting on each page, I'm like doing a little stickers and things for the vibes of the book, and just like a little synopsis of what the book is, what I'm really liking about it, or if there's any quotes or anything that I love, I wrote those down. And the only ones that I wrote down are like the smutty smut books of smut, because Hooked says, "Darling, if I'm the dark, then you're the stars." Followed by in Scarred, Sarah says, "Technically there are no stars out tonight for me to kiss." And then Tristan responds with, "Maybe they were waiting for you to arrive." I love a brooding, borderline psychopath, dark-haired, scarred, tattooed, evil prince. Oh, so good. Yeah, so that's what I did. I have cast on some things, and I have caked up yarn to cast on other things. It's not... I'm gonna like super go over these in the February roundup, but I'm just too excited about them not to mention anything. The first being the Dark Academic Yarn Countdown that I did for December. Dyed myself a countdown on the Selkie base, which is a non-superwash merino and silk blend, and I am going to take all 5 colors and I'm going to do the academic vest by, hold on, I'm blanking on her name, Skein Knits. Oh my god. This is I think it's a 4 color colorwork vest, but I am just going to sneak in a 5th color in there. I want vests. I'm in a vest mood, so I am just too excited not to share that with you. I haven't swatched or anything. Her pattern calls for sport weight. This is a fingering weight. So I think I'm gonna do like a little mini swatch. Because I just don't want this to be like too small because it's color work, so it's probably not gonna have that much stretch with the floats. But I also don't want it to be too big, because I don't think it's gonna lend itself to being like an oversized sweater style. Yes, I'm so excited for that. I think that's it that I can show you at the moment. I do have a couple other projects either going on the needles or on the needles, but they are a test for a new base I am hoping to bring out for the spring collection. So I will be talking more about that probably on Instagram and then in the February roundup, because I want to make sure that this is the base before I tell people and get everybody excited about it, because I'm going to lose my mind. I think this is going to be the new base, and I'm super excited. All right, that is, again, what I read and what I knit in January. I hope your reading and knitting journeys are going well for this month, and hopefully 2022 is only going to get better from here. Everything I have read, I keep updated on Storygraph. I will leave a link to that, and I'm going to start updating and leaving links in, it's called bookshop.org. It is a website that utilizes small bookstores for ordering and purchasing books. I believe they have audiobooks and physical books. It's where I've been buying most of my physical books. And I do have an affiliate link, and I will leave the affiliate and the regular link. The affiliate link, you just throws a little bit of money my way when you use that to order your books, and all of the books you purchase through bookshop.org, a small proceed goes to a small business bookshop in your area. So I will leave links to all of those, and I have a curated page of, I tried to do my books last year, but I'm going to do all the books that I read this year. That way you have a nice, easy way and a way to support a small bookshop in your-ish area. You can find me everywhere online as Gabby Gills, and on my hand-dyed yarn at Plies and Hellhounds. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. We put out videos almost every Saturday now. It's supposed to be Friday, but Saturday mornings, that's it. That's how we're just gonna go with it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.